Angus and I went to Skye on our honeymoon. We decided we'd head for Scotland. I'm sure him being Scottish had a feeling in it. And I think we were camping because I can't remember staying anywhere. And right at the end of the holiday, it was really beginning to get quite wet. So we actually found a very ancient caravan on the road out to Skye. Further down that road was another caravan where we actually stayed the following year. It just seemed to be the place to go to, really. It's a beautiful place, yes. Skye was a lot less busy than it is now. The road from Skinnedin to Portree was single track. I think your dad had a feeling of wanting to get up there in lots of ways. The following year, we took Callum up and we took Mum and Dad up. We were looking then for places where we might stay. Yeah. Skye didn't advertise places in estate agents. You had to go hunt. So we found two pieces of land. The first piece of land was out on the very far end of Glendale. And it was on a slope, and the tree sort of sat at this kind of angle. And we looked at it and thought, I'm not convinced we want to be here. However, we went back to Skinnedin, and what we discovered was that the land in Glendale was not crofting land. And therefore, we didn't have to buy land or rent it and live nearby to actually do the crofting. Now, there were actually two plots in Skinnedin. So there was a bottom one near the road and there was a top one. And we actually wanted the top one. So we bought them both. The next year, we'd bought the land. Dennis had said to us we didn't want to apply for planning consent until we could build. So, you don't need to do anything till you can build. And we stayed at a place called Heribost, which was just south of Dunvegan on the main road. Your dad went over to where they were building a new bridge. They actually put at either side of the river 2 banks of stone and then put an arch over the top of it and covered the arch with stone. So we actually put a 12-foot wide one up on which you could get a van up. You ended up with these pieces that actually had to be locked together, the corrugated things. And you could actually stamp them into the stones, and then you just built round it. On the top half of the river, the bottom of the river was actually quite stony, but on the other side it was actually quite boggy, and so we had to kind of dig a bit more out. I just made the cement, and I got quite good at it. You lot very kindly carried water up, but the trouble is, by the time you got up to the top, you'd lost half the water. It seemed to be going all right, and
So was it kind of put it up and
hope? It was just too far away. It was Heribost. So we decided next year we were going to move nearer. In June, he went up for a short while to actually build the shed. World War II Air Force shed of some kind, or not guaranteed for anything. So he put it up.
Wow. There used to be a little fence there when Mum and Dad were trying to grow stuff, and they put eggshells in that. And that's where you'd archery, you know?
heartmates has left me for better things. Didn't have any speed or ease.
Right on.
Yep. Are you filming me again?
No, just filming Cal.
The following year, the big problem was that we had to find stones. There were rocks lurking around the place, and we could use those to begin with. I mean, we used to get sand from near Sligerton. They were doing a lot of work building a new road over towards Portree, but we actually bought the stone from them. But we had to keep finding stones, you know, and it was. And he got a stone that trapped his finger putting down a rock. So it was the rock and the cement that kind of forced his hand into that, and he couldn't kind of lift the stone up.
Yeah.
So, of course, you got minded by the Graces, and I had to take your dad to the hospital and left him there overnight. The skin graft was later, so they had to take a bit out from one of his legs
They shaved it off.
and cover it up. And we also bought a Caligas cooking stove that we could use in the house rather than anything else. And then we actually drove over to Skye, and we'd actually nearly made it.
Did you have an idea of how long it was going to be before there would be a habitable house in Skye for you to go to from 1979?
I think I kind of thought that was in the future because, you know, we had a bridge to build and we had all this to do, and
Yeah.
it seemed to take a long while.
You know, Alex and I arrived in the meantime.
That's right.
You know, and I suppose what I'm getting at is by the time we were of school age, the whole idea of the family being in Skye, you know, it's a different family from what you started out with, wasn't it?
Yeah. When your dad was there, he could walk down the hill, but he could never walk up the hill again. And I used to have to take the car down the hill to bring him back up again. And the other thing was that I couldn't go walking on the hills because up on the hills there was no mobile phone signal.
Yeah.
So had I got stuck up there, anything had happened to me,
You really need